Hello there, my name is JD from Studio 2105. Welcome back to MixStream Online and a brand new episode of Weekly Update Wednesdays. To kick things off, I would like to take this opportunity to wish all our Muslim subscribers and patrons a blessed month of Ramadan. Okay, during this month, Muslims all over the world will be observing the fasting period. Okay, until the celebration of the Eid, or as we know it here in Malaysia, Hari Raya Aidil Fitri. And yes, I know this week's video is coming out late again. I do apologize. The time and the time period that's running up to the fasting month of Ramadan all the way up to Hari Raya, it's one of the busiest seasons, so it's been incredibly busy. We've been trying to meet and rush a lot of deadlines right just before the start of the fasting month. And beyond that, there's still quite a lot of stuff going on as well. So, alright, I do apologize that this video is out a little bit late, okay? But anyway, if you are new to this channel, a warm welcome to you. To all the patrons, thank you so much and a big shout out to you. If you haven't done so, please do subscribe to this channel. Click on the notification bell as well so that you'll be updated every time I upload a new video. Do sign up for the email list, okay? bit.ly/MixStreamOnline, and consider signing up to become a patron as well, okay? If you want to help to support the channel financially. Check it out, right? The website is down below, www.patreon.com/studio2105. This week's featured question touches on one of the fundamentals of digital audio, especially when it relates to recording, mixing, and mastering. So without further ado, let's dive into it. What's the difference between recording at different bit rates? Are there specific times where you should be using a certain bit rate over another? Hold up. All right. JD, are you confusing bit depth with bit rate? Let me tell you first of all, okay, I'm not confused. I am perfectly aware of the difference between the two. So the question actually came in exactly the way that this was worded. And you know, this is precisely what I mean by this is one of the topics which, even though it's a basic, it's a fundamental thing that we should understand, that we know, a lot of folks kind of get it wrong. They always kind of mix up the two different terms, end up confused, okay? So first of all, let's clear up all the confusion. Bit depth is not the same as bit rate, okay? Now, the two terms are often mistaken for each other, and while they may sound similar, they mean two totally different things. Bit depth, or sometimes described as the word length, is the number of bits used to represent a sample in digital audio. Hence, you have, 16-bit, 24-bit, 32-bit, etc. Bit rate, on the other hand, is used to measure data bandwidth. For example, in audio, we describe an MP3 file as having a bit rate of, let's say, 320 kilobits per second. Okay, see the distinction between the two, right? Bit rate, right, measures it and describes it in kilobits per second, whereas we talk about bit depth, right, what we're concerned about in recording, just refers to it as either 16-bit, 24-bit, etc. Okay. Another example I can use is that in our everyday use of our broadband internet, okay, and Wi-Fi, we also use the term to describe the speed of our data connection. So, for example, you have 30 megabits per second, 100 megabits per second, etc. Now, higher bit rates do allow you to transmit more data because, again, remember, it's talking about bandwidth. And that allows you to also encode higher resolution audio, but it isn't the main determining factor when it comes to audio quality. Okay, now this brings us to another term, sampling rate or sample rate. Okay, now without going into super detail, sampling rate, right, is the number of times a sample is taken from an audio signal. Okay. Now, this, fortunately, when it comes to sampling rate, there's not too much confusion, but all of us pretty much know what it is. We're super familiar with, right? 44.1 kilohertz, 48 kilohertz, 96K, etc. and onwards. Okay. Now for a more detailed look, because I don't want to get into super technical nitty gritty, right, in this video, I do recommend that you check out this video, right, and on the subject of digital audio. You can check out, this is one of the video modules that was taken from the Direct Access Music Production Workshop. If you want to find out more, if you want to learn a little bit more in depth about digital audio, okay, check out this video over here, okay. Now that we've cleared up all the confusion, let's get back to the question. So the main difference between recording at the various bit depths is the resolution. So we use dynamic range to define this, okay? Now, very simply, dynamic range is described as the difference in level between the loudest and the softest sounds that can be captured, okay? And this is measured in dB, decibels. Generally speaking, right, a device or a system that has a wider dynamic range has better audio quality. In 16-bit audio, okay, which is what we know, we describe it as the CD quality, dynamic range is 96 dB. Now, whereas in 24-bit audio, right, the dynamic range increases to a whopping 144 dB, okay? So that's a 48 dB improvement in 24-bit resolution, right, over audio that's captured, that's been encoded, that's been recorded in 16-bit, okay? CD quality is defined in the 80s, right, as 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz sampling rate, okay? And this weird sampling rate, this weird number of 44.1 was actually down to the technical limitations of the equipment during that time. Nowadays, even the most affordable entry-level audio interface have, right, pretty decent 24-bit converters. So now it becomes a no-brainer that we should record at 24-bit, okay? Now the improvements offered over 16-bit is massive, and there's really no reason to be recording at 16-bit anymore, okay, right? As I mentioned earlier, 24-bit resolution has got a 48 dB better dynamic range than 16-bit, okay? Given that nowadays, right, high resolution audio formats, right, are being much more widely adopted, even some of the streaming platforms that we listen to, right, every day are offering, right, high resolution options as well. What about sampling rate then, okay? Now, my opinion is that you should record at the highest sampling rate possible that can be comfortably handled by your recording setup. Higher sampling rates do offer better quality, but you know, there is a trade-off. There's an increase in terms of the system resources that's required, right? Your CPU requirements, your RAM, your file size, your storage, right? All of that increases. So for some people, it can be a case of like diminishing returns because, right, you know, it costs so much more to gain this little bit of an improvement. Depending on your situation, right, depending on whether it's economically worth it or not for you, right, it may not necessarily be worth it to go up to a higher sampling rates, especially if you have an older system, an older computer, and you're right, you can't handle the processing. Now, you need to be aware though, however, that for major label work, right, it's starting to become a requirement that you deliver at, right, high resolutions. So this means like 88.1K or 96K and above. The reason why they put out this requirement is that they want to future-proof the music in case, right, they are trying to anticipate maybe, you know, the new high-resolution formats going to come out, maybe new playback formats are going to be developed in the future. They want to be able to have their master material ready to you know, translate into these new mediums and these new formats if they come in the future, okay? Also, and very importantly, if you are frequently working with video, right, take note that in the film and the video industry, right, it has already been long established, right, in their specifications that audio should be at the 48 kilohertz sampling rate, okay? This is one area which, you know, I gotta give credit, right? The video guys, right, our friends in the video industry got it right from day one, okay, from the start. So now, if you're going to be working a lot with video, right, with film and film scoring and all that, you are expected to deliver files at 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. Otherwise, you might run into some problems, okay? Now, personally, I record at a 24-bit 48 kilohertz because to me there is a slight improvement over 44.1 kilohertz. Okay, let's not go into that debate right in this video. But I do that also because so much of music nowadays ends up right in a video format, like be it on a YouTube video or any other social media platform. So it just makes perfect sense to record and work in 48 kilohertz anyway. So to sum it all up, okay, record at 24-bit, there's really no reason to be recording at 16-bit anymore. For sampling rates, okay, you can use whatever sampling rate you want, right? Whatever fits your situation and your workflow and work environment the best, right? But I do encourage, right, going to at least 48 kilohertz. Hope that helps. Happy recording, okay? So we've come to the end of this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, please do leave your feedback and your questions down in the comments below. I really love to hear from you. If you found this video useful and informative, please do leave a like, do share it with your friends, and if you haven't already done so, become a subscriber. Click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell as well, okay? Do consider becoming a patron. Once again, www.patreon.com/studio2105. Check it out, right? All the different tiers and the various perks and benefits that are on offer for you. All right, till next time, I hope to see you again in another video. Happy recording and mixing. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Peace, love, and music.